Noah Gragson, one of NASCAR's most entertaining drivers in recent years, has now announced that he will officially be driving for Petty GMS Racing in 2023, replacing Ty Dillon in the number 42 car. Now, this story is nothing surprising. I'm pretty sure once it was announced that Ty Dillon would be leaving the team at the end of the season, a lot of fingers pointed towards Noah Gragson as being the guy to replace him. And he has put on some really strong runs, especially his last race at Michigan, where he was up inside the top 5 for a good portion of stage number 2 before getting involved in the crash on the back straightaway. Before that, he was running really strong, was up there front with the leaders even. So Gragson has shown moments in the Cup car, hasn't had the best of luck, always getting caught up in crashes or in other people's mess. We know how good he is in the Xfinity Series, an 8-time winner at the moment. He's been to the championship for at least twice, if I'm not mistaken, I think the last 2 years. So we know he can go out there and win. Say what you want about Noah Gragson. He has his moments, aka Road America a few weeks ago. He has his moments, but you cannot deny, whether you like him or not, you cannot deny that the man does make you feel something, which is what we want from NASCAR drivers nowadays, is make us feel something, good or bad. More entertaining drivers, that makes the sport more fun to watch. Now the question is two things. What's going to happen to Ty Dillon? I don't know, either Xfinity or nothing else. There's no Cup rides available at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, that I can see Ty Dillon in. And also, who's going to take over the 9 car? Because now that spot's up for grabs at JR Motorsports, but that will be discussed later on in the year, in a few weeks or so. I think the part that I'm kind of surprised at is not the fact that Gragson's going to Cup. That part I'm not shocked at, but the fact that he's not going with JR Motorsports, because we have heard him in interviews say that he likes racing with JR Motorsports and wants to go to the Cup Series with Junior. The issue is that in terms of money, I mean, there was an article today by Adam Stern that said that NASCAR charters could go near $20 million now, which if you can't tell Junior that, you know that the biggest hurdle is getting that charter. It says that's way too much money at the moment. So if you want to go to the Cup Series with Junior, you're going to have to stay in the Xfinity Series for maybe at least a couple seasons, at least. And I think Gragson realizes that if I want to go to JR Motorsports and stay with them, I'm going to have to deal with staying in the Xfinity Series for at least a couple more years. And while it may be a good thing in the Gen 6 era, in the next gen era, you want to get to the Cup Series as soon as possible because that car is still brand new. It's still fresh. We've heard drivers say that you cannot compare the Xfinity car to the next gen car. With the Gen 6 car, you could. You can't do that with this car. So the longer Gragson stays in Xfinity Series, let's say Junior goes to the Cup Series in 2024. That's another, or 2025. That's another 2 years Gragson's have to stay in the Xfinity Series. Meanwhile, on Cup, everyone's getting so much knowledge about this new next-gen car. By the time he gets to the Cup Series, he's going to be so far behind. So it's like you have to understand that while, yes, it may be a good idea to stay with JR Motorsports and wait to go to the Cup Series, here you have this opportunity to get to the Cup Series with a car that's still fairly new under everyone's hands. You won't be as far back as you were if you would wait a couple seasons. And also, you have to consider the fact that while he doesn't have the best track record with colleague racing in the starts that he's made this year, he has shown speed when nothing goes wrong. Michigan's a great example. Before he got caught up in that crash on the back straightaway, he was showing some decent speed, was running in the top 5, was running with the leaders and keeping pace with them. So he has shown that under the right circumstances, when he has speed, he can do something with it. Now, is Gragson the right decision for Petty GMS? I believe so. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think he can do worse than Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon has been bad this year. I mean, really, really bad. I mean, think about it with Erik Jones. Yeah, he's in Petty GMS equipment, but he's still been able to do something with it. Nearly won Fontana, had a great car in Fontana, great car in Michigan. He has put up some really solid runs. And I think having Jones and Gragson, two drivers that are still very young, you know, Gragson can lean on Jones because Jones knows how to win. He's won at Darlington, won at Daytona. He knows how to win in the Cup Series. And I think Gragson can lean on Jones for a bit of advice on how to get around this new next-gen car. And I think having Jones and Gragson together is a really good driver lineup. I won't say it's an underrated one. We still have to wait how Gragson does, but two drivers that have a lot of talent and they're both very young. Those are pretty good signs for the future of NASCAR when you consider other drivers in their situations where some of the drivers are nearing the ends of their career. So I think they made a great decision in terms of the talent that Gragson has. I know there's a lot of controversy with him off track. I understand that. We're discussing on-track circumstances and the fact that he can do well. He can drive. He can wheel a race car. You cannot deny that. I'm interested though in terms of the contract. Now we do know it's a multi-year deal, but the fact that there is no sponsors, which I think is another changing of the turn for NASCAR. In the days where it seemed as though the only times a driver moves up to the Cup Series or gets a ride is if they have some type of connection with a family member or money, wherever the case may be. But nowadays, we're starting to see more drivers getting into NASCAR based off of talent. I mean, Gragson's an example. Chastain's another example. Drivers that came into NASCAR with zero funding or very little funding, so to speak, and they have been able to get into really good rides, or at least in the Cup Series and somewhat reasonable rides, and do well. Do I think Gragson's going to have really good success at Petty GMS? No. He's a rookie. All right, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a rookie, but he has raced at Michigan. He did race a lot better than Harrison Burton did. So he has a little bit of talent. I think under the guidance of Erik Jones, I think they can put up some solid runs in the future. Maybe not in 2023, but in 24, 25, when he starts to get into rhythm with this next-gen car and get used to his surroundings at Petty GMS, I think those two can make some stuff happen. He's one of the biggest personalities. He's one of the few personalities in NASCAR, so he's going to get a lot of attention, good or bad. They're going to get a lot of attention from that race team. Would this be the right decision for Gragson's career? I mean, again, it's a Cup ride, and you're in the next-gen car, so it's basically a clean slate. Again, I'm not expecting them to do or Gragson to do big things. We look at what Jones has done. He hasn't done anything spectacular, but he has put up some solid finishes. And I think more reps under their belt with this next-gen car, they could have those occasional bursts of moments where they're up there up front racing, leading laps up front and maybe competing for a win. For Jones, for Gragson, just finishing laps, finishing races, just get comfortable with this new car before you go out and try some other things like go out there and try to win a race or something like that. GMS is the type of team where a few things just need to click before they start chipping up. I look at Petty GMS kind of like Front Row Motorsports. I think with Front Row Motorsports is that there was something there. I mean, look at Michael McDowell. There was something there, and they were able to just knock off week after week after week, just knock off top 15s, then top 10s, and then occasionally top 5s. I see Petty GMS in that sort of landscape. Just leading laps, logging laps in, and then maybe, next year, start to run a little bit better. Get it more adjusted to this next-gen car. Running up front more. Getting in the top 15. Getting in the top 10. Then maybe top 5. That's how I see Petty GMS. Kind of similar to Front Row Motorsports. Is that they slowly progress their way up to the top. And I think having a driver like Noah Gragson, who is exuberating with talent, has a big personality, so he's going to get you a lot of attention. I believe Black Rifle Coffee is jumping on board because they have paired up with Petty GMS this year with Ty Dillon. I don't know if Bass Pro Shop is jumping on board, but I do believe Black Rifle Coffee will jump on board, so they at least have some type of sponsorship going. But I think this could be a very underrated pairing with Jones and Gragson, at least for the future. Man, can you imagine Noah Gragson on the LA Coliseum? Hey, that'd be a show. I'm just saying, it'd be very entertaining to watch.